What's up, people? This is the first episode of Chill with Millennials, and welcome you guys. Today we have Ronak Shah. He's a book blogger, he's an engineer turned marketer, he's a YouTuber, he's a podcaster, he's everything you want to listen to him, someone. So, क्या किया उन लोग ने लॉकडाउन में he started with the YouTube. He's got almost 4K subscribers, a podcast, and it's almost like 60,000 downloads in a podcast. He has worked with big companies like Flipkart, Google, and a lot more. He has been reading books from quite a long. He knows a lot of strategies. He know a lot of about books, about strategies, about everything. So if you want to be a book blogger, if you want to look into book blogging or just blogging, freelancing, or anything, let's get started with this podcast and welcome Ronak to the show.
Thank you so much, man. It was great. It is great pleasure to be with you on this podcast. And it's always great to share everything knowledge with the audience, with the people who want to start with everything. Because people we make mistakes, and after some point we think that everyone should go to that phase, but without doing the mistake. So thank you so much.
Quite a well, Ronak. So, like coming straight to the question, क्योंकि पहला question यही होना चाहिए. Why blogging? Why blogging? Why freelancing? And why not jobs? कि like job क्यों नहीं करना है? सिर्फ blogging and freelancing ही क्यों?
वेल एक्चुअली इसके पीछे बहुत बड़ी स्टोरी है एक्चुअली. देर इज वन लाइक जो मैंने लास्ट न्यूज लेटर सेंड किया था ना, इट वॉज ऑल अबाउट आई मेड ऑल माई डिसीजन इन द फियर्स. So that was the title of my last newsletter, which I send newsletter every Sunday or every week to whatever
Okay.
I learn, whatever I do every week, and I share through all my subscribers. So last newsletter is all about I made all my decision in the fears. So that in that newsletter I explained how my journey was there. So into the like I took engineering first just because एक fear था कि मुझे job नहीं मिलेगा.
Hmm.
So एक बचपन से एक fear था because I was introvert. I was good at academics, but एक fear था कि job नहीं मिलेगा, इसलिए मैंने engineering लिया था. And
Okay.
when I jumped into engineering, at the second year I realized that what if I stuck in the same industry for the long term. So
क्या
ये
था?
सबसे बड़ा
ब्रांच क्या
मेरे
था
लिए
आपका?
मैकेनिकल. सो मैकेनिकल
मैकेनिकल
ब्रांच में था.
इंजीनियरिंग.
एंड
ओके.
सो दैट वाज अ फियर कि व्हाट इफ आई स्टक इन द सेम इंडस्ट्री फॉर द लॉन्ग टर्म, जो मुझे नहीं ये चाहिए था. सो इन द सेकंड ईयर आई स्टार्टेड ब्लॉगिंग. उस टाइम कुछ आइडिया नहीं था, जस्ट कि आई वाज रैंडमली रोट आर्टिकल्स ऑन मेनी डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स लाइक लव
Hmm.
स्टोरीज, कॉलेज लाइफ, what
Hmm.
happens in the college days, and I never thought this is going to be the in the long term this is going to be a profitable business. But I
Okay.
just started sharing everything.
Hmm.
In the second year I wrote around 3 to 4 articles only, and after
Okay.
that
Hmm.
didn't get any views in the third year, so I quit for the third year. In the end of the third year I thought, why not just record everything? I never thought this is all going to be the documented, but I just
Yes.
used to write everything and put it on the blog, so whenever I can read or after some years I can read. So in the end of the third year I wrote one love story which is of the 5 parts that's still available on there, which is one of the incidents that happened with me
Hmm.
while I was traveling to the Gujarat in the train. So वो एक incident हुआ था, and just I added some spices and वो एक लिख दिया, and that one love story got around more than 50,000 views. And that's where I got Google monetization, and and वहां से पता चला कि okay, we can do something in this space. And after that I tried to searching on the internet कि actually में blogging क्या होती है, SEO क्या होता है, ये सारी चीजें basic मुझे पता चली. And I used to share my articles on the Facebook, Instagram usually, because just कि लोगों के साथ शेयर करना चाहिए, उनको कुछ पढ़ने के लिए देना चाहिए इसलिए. And one of my friends uncle, they reached to me because they wanted some content for their website.
अच्छा.
And that's where I realized that you can make money online. और वहां से एक्चुअली जर्नी शुरू हुई थी मेरी. द फर्स्ट पेमेंट आई रिसीव्ड इज ओनली 170 रुपीज फॉर वन आर्टिकल, विच इज वेरी वेरी लेस. बट वहां से एक स्पाइक मिला था कि ओके, यू कैन अर्न मनी ऑनलाइन, यू जस्ट
Hmm.
हैव टू नो व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट सोर्सेज, हाउ यू कैन मेक समथिंग गुड. सो दैट्स वेयर आई स्टार्टेड ब्लॉगिंग, एंड दैट्स वेयर आई गेट आइडिया अबाउट द ब्लॉगिंग. उस टाइम मैंने ब्लॉगिंग डोमेन वगैरह कुछ परचेस नहीं किया था. इट वाज अ रैंडम फ्री वर्डप्रेस और ब्लॉग स्पॉट पे था, एंड आई वाज जस्ट टू राइट. बट देन आई रियलाइज्ड, आई रेड दिस बुक कॉल्ड शो योर वर्क by Austin Coley. I will highly suggest, if you are a content creator, if you are the creator in the creator space, then you should definitely read this book. This book will help you to understand why you should be online, why you should share your stuff online with the world. So this book is very very short. It's hardly, you can finish this book in less than 60 minutes. I mean,
Okay.
that's short is it is book. It's
Hmm.
hardly, it's in the square shape. I don't have, actually I read most of the books on the Kindle, so I don't buy most physical copies. So I read on this book
Okay.
Kindle, and you can buy, it's available on the Amazon, you can buy it. So that's book tell you why you should start your website, why you should have your own website, why you should have your email list up, and why you should share something every day with your audience. So that will help you to understand key why you should be online. So that's where I realized that I need my own website, I need my own domain hosting, my email list. And वहां से actually blogging की शुरुआत हुई थी. I know I don't want to go deep because we know we are going to talk a lot deeper in the in further after some minutes. So that's how the I started with the blogging. And if I want to talk about specifically book blogging, then I shared around 2 3 only book reviews on my in the college days. I never thought that I have to write book reviews, or I will that will helpful for me. In 2018, when I shifted to the Pune after my graduation, I did my graduation in Kolhapur, and after that, from the tier 3 actually college, and after that I shifted to the Pune, and one of the publisher is approached me to, to review their book. So that's how the journey started. For the first like 40 to 50 books, I did everything for fee, because I have no idea that I can charge for reading also. I never thought that I will charge for reading also. And
Hmm.
that's how the book blogging started. So I first initially started with the personal blog, you can say, which is used to write a random articles, love stories, everything
Huh.
about personal. And
Okay.
after that I shifted to the book blogging when a publisher approached me. So that's the very short journey of starting a book blogging.
अच्छा, तो लाइक तुमने कहा कि लाइक इंजीनियरिंग नहीं करना था और उस इंडस्ट्री में नहीं जाना था, तो बट ब्लॉगिंग ही क्यों? लाइक अदर ऑप्शंस भी थे, लाइक एमबीए थी, एमबीए एंड ऑल, काफी ज्यादा ऑप्शंस है, लाइक यू कैन गेट इनटू स्पोर्ट्स एमबीए और एनीथिंग एल्स, लाइक पीएस, लाइक पीएसयू तो चलो इंडस्ट्री का हो गया,
Right.
एसएससी, यूपीएससी, सो व्हाई नॉट द नॉर्मल वे की लाइक जो नॉर्मली लोग करते हैं, बट अगेंस्ट द ट्रेंड कि हाँ लाइक गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर्स में नहीं जाना है, प्राइवेट सेक्टर्स लाइक एमबीए एंड कैट के सेक्टर्स में नहीं जाना है, तो लाइक योर ओन फ्रीलांसिंग सेक्टर, तो ऐसा ही क्यों?
Well, I won't say, it's like kind of connecting the dots कि सब लोग की लाइफ में कुछ ना कुछ होता है, and they try to connect the dots.
या
So from the childhood कि ये तो फिक्स था किया है, I will do till engineering only. मैं उसके बाद ग्रेजुएशन करी नहीं करूंगा. मैंने पहले ही अपने पेरेंट्स को बोल दिया
अच्छा,
था कि
मास्टर्स नहीं
आई
करना
डोंट
था?
वांट टू, हाँ मास्टर्स मुझे नहीं करना है, एंड आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन द गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर ऑल्सो, क्योंकि बचपन से काइंड ऑफ आई एम फ्रॉम द गुजराती फैमिली. सो बचपन से देर इज ऑलवेज अ बैकग्राउंड ऑफ द बिजनेस, बिकॉज from the childhood my family always told me, first thing, you have to be independent. कुछ भी हो जाए, you have to be independent. We are not going to support after sometimes. You have to be on yourself, because that was a first learning if you are from the Gujarati family. And bachpan se I did many seasonal business. Like I used to sell rakis on the Raksha Bandhan. I
अच्छा,
used to sell crackers on the Diwalis. I did almost all the seasonal business कि उस टाइम पे वो चीजें खरीदना और उस टाइम पे वो चीजें बेचना. तो उस टाइम से आइडिया आ चुके थे कि व्हाट इज एक्चुअली द बिजनेस, और बेसिक आइडिया आ चुके थे कि एक्चुअली विदाउट नोइंग द फैक्ट कि ये एक बिजनेस का एस्पेक्ट हो सकता है, दे आर गिविंग मी द नॉलेज हाउ द बिजनेस वर्क्स. सो मैंने उसे कभी प्रोफेशनल तरीके से नहीं देखा था कि देख, that's this will be a business aspect for me. So after the engineering, engineering is the time where you get to know ki what you actually want to do. So you can say that that same
करेक्ट.
thing happened with me, because engineering की second year, third year, fourth year, इन 3 साल में मुझे पता चला कि okay, there is lot of things available apart from engineering. I'm not saying that I'm bad at engineering. I got throughout distinction all the 4 years. I'm the second university ranker in the Shivaji University. So it's not that like I'm a bad in engineering. Even I got placed in the MNC, which is Atlas Copco, which is a MNC company, and I that too in a design engineering field. But after doing that job for the 1 week, I realized that this is not something I'm going to do for the
अच्छा,
lifetime.
एक हफ्ते में ही
Because
छोड़ दिया?
हाँ, मैंने एक हफ्ते में ही छोड़ दिया था
ओ
जॉब
भाई,
एक्चुअली.
ओ भाई, हार्ड है, हार्ड है.
So 2018 में पास आउट हुआ था 2018 में, and I
अच्छा.
got around 78%
हम्म.
in throughout the distinction. So
अच्छा.
after that I got placed into the MNC. But in the around July after my birthday, so July में मेरा birthday था and July August, so August में joining था. I did for the 1 week, And after that I realized, okay, ये नहीं हो सकता मेरे लिए लाइफ टाइम के लिए. I have to do something different. And that's where I quit for the 1 month. और वो सबसे मेरा हार्ड टाइम था एक्चुअली. वो जो 2 महीने थे फ्रॉम द अगस्त सितंबर अक्टूबर, ये जो 2 महीने थे ना, वो सबसे लाइक काइंड ऑफ डिप्रेशन यू कैन से, सबसे बड़ा डिप्रेशन में था, क्योंकि
हाँ, वो
आगे
होता
क्या
है।
करना है
करेक्ट।
कुछ भी आइडिया नहीं थे मुझे. बट साइड बाय साइड उस टाइम मेरी इंस्टाग्राम प्रोफाइल वगैरह स्ट्रांग हो चुकी थी, सो आई कैन इजीली गेट माय सोशल मीडिया बिजनेस ऑन. बिकॉज इफ
हम्म।
समवन कैन सी योर सोशल मीडिया प्रोफाइल एंड दे कैन उसको आप कुछ तो प्रूफ ऑफ वर्क दिखा सकते हो. यू कैन शो दैट ओके, I have
करेक्ट।
done this and I can do this with your profile also. And that's how I started approaching to the different people ki they want to grow their social media or what.
हम्म।
So out of that, two three I got 2 3 clients in the November. I got back on the track in the November. If I guess in the December, nahi, I guess November I got back on the track. And after that I started to understand the freelancing in much deeper way. I started learning about everything about the freelancing. So, like, first, I answer your question. We'll talk about this journey differently. So that's where कि ये पता था कि college के time में पता चला कि मुझे okay, I want to do something different, and
हम्म।
I will just exploring all this field. ऐसे कुछ fix नहीं था कि मुझे ये करना है वो करना है.
हम्म।
And talking about the book blogging that's something I used to, because of I love reading, and I thought just if I want to just have to read the book and just I have to put three to four paragraphs about that book, then it's not a very hard time for me. I can do it within
Yep.
10 to 15 minutes to write 3 to 4 paragraph. And if I can get paid for that 3 to 4 paragraph, then why not monetize it? So that's the reason I started as book blogging. And as I told you ki I don't want to stuck into the same industry for the long amount of time. Isliye I chose freelancing, where you can explore a lot of things. Like I started learning with the video editing also. I started with the audio editing also, graphic designing, social media, ads, marketing. So you can explore a lot of things. And what your proof of work is, whatever you do, like you have a lot of proof of work, and it's easy to switch between a different freelancing jobs. So that's where it's become exciting role for you, or it's become really exciting in your life. So that's the reason I choose specifically freelancing rather than going for the conventional job.
तो फ्रीलांसिंग में भी बुक ब्लॉगिंग ही क्यों, लाइक बुक से इतना पैशनेट क्यों भाई? लाइक बुक से तो लोग लाइक बहुत बार बोलते हैं ना कि बुक से नींद आ जा रहा है, अब और नहीं पढ़ सकते, तो बुक्स पे ही इतना पैशन क्यों?
वेल आई विल नॉट से कि बुक मेरा फर्स्ट प्रोफेशन है. इट वाज काइंड ऑफ अ
हम्म।
हॉबी, और जो भी हॉबी है, जो आई
अच्छा।
लव रीडिंग. इवन
हम्म।
आई हैव राइट अ बुक फ्रंट ऑफ me. So I have always surrounded with the book, but there is a story behind this. I will give all my credit to my grandma,
अच्छा।
because in childhood she used to tell me the stories, or like Panchatantra, Akbar Bilbar. These are
हाँ।
the basic stories we all know. And वो जब stories बताती थी, so whenever the climax comes, she used to stop and she says, now you have to read by yourself. So
ओके।
that was a moment कि जहाँ से एक्चुअली
बस
क्यूरियोसिटी
जानना
जनरेट हुई
है,
कि
हाँ, बस जानना है।
हाँ, तो ऑब्वियसली आपको पता चला कि क्लाइमेक्स अब क्या होने वाला है. जस्ट यू हैव टू नो द एंड.
करेक्ट।
बट टू नो दैट एंड you have to read the full that story. And
हम्म।
that stories are hardly 2 3 pages. If you read Akbar Bilbar, Panchatantra, so these are the stories are hardly 3 to 4 pages. And
या।
it basically, grandmother did something so I can get into the reading, because she loves reading. Even my mousie loves reading. और
ओके।
उनकी वजह से just started reading. And I used to read all these basic books. And I just used to read. And जब मैंने नॉन फिक्शन के बारे में सुना था इन द कॉलेज के टाइम पे, so उसके
हम्म।
टाइम मैंने 2 3 बुक रिव्यू ही ऑलमोस्ट मेरे वेबसाइट पे डाले थे. एंड दैट्स वेयर जब मेरे पब्लिशर ने मुझे अप्रोच किया, तब आई थॉट कि ओके, वी कैन डू समथिंग अराउंड द बुक, वी कैन मोनेटाइज द बुक ब्लॉगिंग ऑल्सो. So
हम्म।
that's how I started with the book blogging. I will not say this is my first profession. This is still my hobby, but a kind of a paid hobby, you can say, ki
हम्म।
where for the reading you get paid for the reading. So that's where I started the book blogging. Then I am going to diversify. Like I'm more into the non-fiction books, because I believe that everyone should read non-fiction books. Everyone should understand that, and they should apply in their life. So that's why I'm more into right now non-fiction. And people love if they want to, if they get something new to learn every day. So, and non-fiction books already have a lot of to learn. There are still a lot of books I want to read, but that's where the book blogging is exist. And it's a very narrow niche. If we talk
या।
about, it's a very 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 narrow niche. Very few people are into the book blogging actually doing really good. And if you
हम्म।
talk about, there are actually the books, if there is a bookstagram community, just like the content creator or the creator community, though, so there is a bookstagram community where all the
ओके।
book bloggers exist. And there are very few people can get ahead in a lot of this thing, because book blogging, there is a lot of, you will not get very good deals, you will not get brand deals, a lot of things are there. It's not like a normal content creator thing. It's
Hmm.
just because I love reading, and just rather than putting it my mind, I'm just putting it online so anyone can use it and anyone can be good in their life. So that's the reason why I thought book blogging will be the great, great field for me.
अच्छा, तो बुक्स का बात हो रहा है तो चलो एक और इम्पोर्टेंट बात कर लेते हैं। बुक्स अभी पॉडकास्ट पे इतना ज़्यादा हो रहा है, लाइक हम भी पॉडकास्ट कर रहे हैं, तो बुक्स ओवर पॉडकास्ट व्हाट विल यू प्रेफर? लाइक अगर किसी का ऑडियो बुक अवेलेबल है और किसी का नॉर्मल बुक अवेलेबल है, तो व्हाट विल यू प्रेफर?
From 2019, actually, I shifted more into the audiobooks because I
अच्छा।
realized, because
हम्म।
before 2019,
हम्म।
there is two things. Like, I started with the paperback books, like physical books. When I got Kindle, then I shifted almost to the Kindle. Like, I read almost all 99.9% books on the Kindle. Like, there are still like 500 plus books available just on my Kindle device.
ओके।
So I read all the books on the Kindle because it's easy to read, easy to take notes, easy to highlight, easy to understand. You don't have to carry book. I mean, you if the book is short, then you can carry. But if the book is 800 pages or 1000 pages, you cannot carry every time. But you can carry your Kindle.
या।
So that's how I started with the Kindle. And in 2019, I started with the actually audiobooks. At the starting, it was really hard to understand audiobooks,
या।
but after, you start consuming a lot of audiobooks, then it becomes very easy to me. So
हम्म।
whenever I want to listen to the fiction books, then I go for the audiobooks. And whenever I want to read non-fiction books, then I go for the Kindle books. So that's the differentiation for me. But
ओके।
obviously, I prefer right now Kindle and audiobooks for,
लाइक
rather than
कंबाइन
going for
करके
the
हो जाता है
paperbacks.
वो, मतलब लाइक
Combined.
डिपेंड
Without
करता
that,
है।
life is,
हाँ,
yeah, without that,
सिचुएशन
life
पे।
is incomplete. Right.
Okay, so we talk about
Like,
blogging and book blogging also. So बहुत सारे freshers है, like बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो अभी start कर रहे हैं blogging से, like from 2021, जो कि शायद अभी engineering colleges में होंगे या फिर different colleges में, commerce engineering जो भी colleges में होंगे या फिर college से drop out कर चुके
right.
होंगे, and many people are obviously losing jobs or they are looking for different opportunities. So, like any tips you want to give to people, like you obviously have been doing blogging, तो तुमने बहुत mistakes किए होंगे, right? कि you have
Right.
be doing a lot of mistakes कि हाँ चलो ये sector पहले करना चाहिए था, ये चीज हमें बाद में करना चाहिए था. तो anyone starting with blogging in 2021, suppose on 30 March, नहीं like मतलब February में वो start कर रहा है, okay, February 21 में start कर रहा है, तो क्या tips दोगे आप?
Well, the first thing I will say is, do not quit. You will not get results at the initial. There is always
Hmm.
thing between the quantity and the quality.
Okay.
Never focus on the quality first. Focus on the quantity first. Always, if you are starting anything, any career, like if we are starting a YouTube, if you are starting a podcast, blog, anything, just focus on quantity. Try to put as many as videos you can. Try to put as many podcasts you can.
Hmm.
Because if I want to give the example, I started my blogging in second year of my college. That's around 2015. And
Okay.
2016 I quit just because I didn't get the views. अगर मैंने वो continue किया होता तो I would have done much better right now. But 2000 third year के end में मैंने फिर से शुरू किया. And around, it was my 51st blog that went viral. So before that 51st blog went viral, I wrote actually 50 blogs,
Yeah.
which are around, you can 50,000 words or 60,000 words total if
Correct.
you count it.
Correct.
So first thing, focus on the quantity. Even for my podcast channel, I started my podcast in 2018 November, and for the first 1 year I never thought of doing anything. I
Hmm.
just used to put a lot of podcast, as many as podcast as possible.
Hmm.
I'm around right now around 110 or 20 podcast right now. So that's
Okay.
something. So I have to
Yeah.
put, like, I thought, just first focus on the quantity rather than going on the quality. Because as you make even on the YouTube channel, if you go, I made more than 210 videos right now. Just before I hit before I hit 1000 subscriber, I was around at 140 videos. So
Oh my God.
it's really important to go with the first quantity. And when you make a lot of videos, or you write a lot of blogs, then quality automatically improves, so you don't have to
वो
focus much
मतलब
on the
करते
quality.
करते प्रैक्टिस के
हाँ,
साथ, राइट? या।
exactly right. So there is a story also, the parable of pot. अगर आपने वो story सुनी हो, there is one class, there is total 60 student.
हम्म।
So the teacher divide student into 30 30, like 30 30 के दो batch करते हैं, and
हम्म।
they have to make one pot at the end of the 30 days. And मुझे ग्रुप ए जो होता है उनको 30 days में 30 pots बनाने होते हैं, और ग्रुप बी जो होता है उनको 30 days में सिर्फ एक ही pot बनाना होता है. And at the end of the 30 day, the clear cut winner is group A, because उन्होंने 30 days 30 pots बनाए और उनका उनके उन्हें आइडिया आ चुके थे what is the best part, how you can make the
Okay,
best
so the
pot.
38th
Or
day they have made the
is
perfect design, right?
best, right? So you get better with the more and more you try. So first thing is consistency, and try to focus on first the quantity, and then
Okay.
as you go ahead, then you can focus on the quality. So that's the basic tips I want to give to the not only the bloggers but
Hmm.
every creator. So that will be the first thing. Then as you go, you can learn about SEO, you learn about keywords, everything. As you
Hmm.
go ahead, you learn automatically, you learn all of those things. But if you miss this step, if you do not get result after 2 days, 3 days, and if you quit, then everything comes to the zero. So that's the basic tip that I will give to everyone.
Okay. So this is about blogging, ठीक है? Your specific niche is book blogging. So anyone starting with book blogging, क्योंकि तुमने बोला कि space में बहुत कम लोग हैं and
Right.
lot of space is there and बहुत लोग इसमें आ सकते हैं. अभी भी इस sector को काफी ज़्यादा grow होने बाकी है. Like अभी लोग books लिखना start कर रहे हैं, अभी independent creators ज़्यादा बढ़ रहे हैं, तो they are trying to showcase their journey in a book. So anyone starting with book blogging, Ronak Shah,
Well, book blogging, obviously, the first thing, why you are coming into book blogging, that's the first question. If
purpose.
you are coming for the if you are coming for the money, then sadly there is no money. There is obviously there is not lot of money in the book blogging as
Okay.
compared to the other like entertainment comedy creator. Like these are the very generic influencers. So book
Hmm.
blogging is something. First thing, if you should or you have to be a reader. That's the first and foremost thing. अगर आप बुक्स ही नहीं पढ़ते हो
पैशन
तो there
होना
is
चाहिए,
no
हाँ वो
space,
पैशन होना
there
चाहिए,
is no
राइट?
space for the reading. अगर आप बुक्स ही नहीं पढ़ते हो तो बुक ब्लॉगिंग में आप क्या करोगे? So that's something first you have to do कि अगर आप बुक्स नहीं पढ़ते हो तो don't you have to start with reading. You can read one book per week, even that's fine, there is no doubt. Even if you read one book in 2 weeks, even that's a fine, no doubt. But in the book, if you want to be the book blogger, then you have to read a lot of books. You have to read all those classics, because some people are going to ask you that have you read this book, have you read 1982, have you read Pride and Prejudice, have you read The Great Gatsby, because have you read the Murakami. So these questions you will definitely face, because these are the basic questions every book blogger gets. So after that, then you will get a niche related question like, I want best mythological books, I want best non-fiction books, I want
Hmm.
best fiction books. So at least you have to read that much capacity so you can recommend to the others. So that's the something first thing. First you have to be the reader. Second, it's basic, start with the Instagram, start with the Twitter, start with the blog, whichever you want to be there. Second, there is not a lot of money, you will get very less amount. Just because if you love reading, then and then only enter into this industry. And you have here also, you have to stick to the long amount of time. I started my book blogging journey in 2018, almost last month of my college date, just with a random thought, ऐसे कुछ fix नहीं था. So as I said कि publisher ने approach किया था, and after that I started with the book blogging. So before that, even my Instagram name was only Ronak Shah, and after that I want to make it generic name, so I make it into Ronak blog. So after that one publisher approach, I changed all my strategy for my life. So that's how I started with everything. But if you want to be into the book blogging, first be reader, start posting online, start sharing your knowledge, and whatever you learn, whatever you do, or whatever you learn from that book, start sharing online. Be active on the social media, to stay connected with the publishers, stay connected with the authors, because in India only, in the every month there are around 300 plus book release in every month.
Every
But
month.
we don't know every month actually. So there are
Nice.
300 plus books releases every month. And if you talk about the only, if you are expanding, like if you are going all over the world, then you will get a lot of opportunities. But you have to be you have to stick to a long amount of time just to get that number of, you know to just so that the publisher will start approach you.
So how like publisher approach, like अगर technically अगर तुमको देखा जाए तो फिर तेरे को approach कैसे करते हैं वो लोग, like through Instagram or like through mails, or like किस type का approach होता है, like किस तरफ का contract होता है, किस तरफ का mutual benefits होता है दोनों तरफ से, तो like what kind of contract is that?
Well, it's basically like sometimes if your profile becomes really, really good, then
Hmm.
publisher will approach you to the Instagram DL, or there are some PRs also available, like authors के PRs वगैरह होते हैं. Though
अच्छा
then they
हाँ.
start approaching you, like if your profile is good, if you are really good, or if you are little bit present. Because as I told you, there are very, like the top creators are even like 10,000 followers is kind, you can see the top creator here
Okay.
also.
Okay.
That's something like there are very small niche this is
Hmm.
like that's the reason कि यहाँ पे 10,000 20,000 भी followers होना तो बहुत बड़ी चीज है क्योंकि to get see when there is an entertainment niche comedy niche you generally follow like a lot of big peoples you just follow because they are posting the entertainment content
Yeah.
and there are very few people who will follow the book bloggers because they wanted to something learn from it. I mean even if you have 10,000 the reader audience it's much bigger than having the 100K normal followers. If you can understand this then that will be much better for everyone because that's something because to create a reader base is really hard as compared to any other entertainment niche as compared to any other comedy niche. So if you have seen like I don't want to take any name in here but if I want to give the comparison, take out any content creator which is in the comedy sector and take out any content creator who is in the education sector. So
Okay.
the education sector have the less followers as compared to the entertainment sector,
Yeah.
but to create that less followers also it takes a lot of efforts. So that's
Hmm.
something that and talking about the mutual benefits obviously there is money also there is a brand is also you get merchandise you get like this is the shirt if you have this is the shirt from you that book Mark Manson's book like everything is for the second part of the that second part uh, the second part which I forgot actually. Everything is fucked actually. Everything is fucked. So you get a lot of merchandise. You get invitation
Merchandise.
for the
Hmm.
yeah. You get merchandise invitation for the events like there was an event in the Taj Hotel, Jaipur Literature Festival. You
Okay.
get to meet a lot of actress. So
Hmm.
these are the kind of benefits for the both end. You
Hmm.
get free stay and everything. Lot of those things happens.
And
So these
kind
are
of
the
in
like
monetization, money के हिसाब
yeah
से.
yeah obviously monetization obviously it's very less amount as I told you because first thing writing a book and the even the author don't make that much money like there
Hmm.
if you talk about the even if you publish one book on the Kindle you will receive around 30% of the total amount like if your book price is 100 rupees then you will receive only 30 rupees if the one book sold. So it's not
Okay.
like there is a lot of money in the
Hmm.
book industry even for the authors unless you are a big author like a mystery party or something like big that unless you sold like monthly 1 million or 10 million copies then
Hmm.
only you will become the top notch author in this industry. And when you become top notch you don't have to focus on the marketing. So that's
Yeah.
something all things are
वो तो फिर
connected.
वो ऑडियंस प्योर हो गया ना कि लाइक ये बंदे का तो
Exactly
मेरे को
right.
पढ़ना ही है.
Right. So that's the point here. So first thing, if you love reading and if you love books and if you want to collect a lot of books, then you can. That's the that's
Hmm.
a
Hmm. Hmm.
drawback or you can say that self or guilt. You can say कि books ज़्यादा चाहिए घर पे,
Hmm.
then you can come into this industry.
सो रौनक लाइक ये क्वेश्चन पूछना जरूरी है क्योंकि दिस इज द फैक्टर विच पीपल आर इनटू लाइक द मेन फैक्टर इज मनी. ठीक है, बाकी पैशन वैशन तो ठीक है, बट एनीथिंग बिहाइंड पैशन इज इफ यू कैन मेक मनी ऑफ इट. ठीक है. सो
Right.
हाउ मच लाइक इट्स अ वेरी अजीब सा क्वेश्चन है, बट हाउ मच यू मेक ऑफ इट लाइक इन अ मंथली basis, or if you want to talk about in annually, how much Ronak Shah make from his blogging and his freelancing kind of thing, like everything connected.
Okay, everything it becomes hard man. I mean
Hmm.
see I try to skip I try to मैं मतलब इतना ट्राई करता हूँ कि मंथली सिर्फ 3 ही क्लाइंट्स हो विच इज
Hmm.
इन द फ्रीलांसिंग. 3 से ज्यादा नहीं क्योंकि खुद पे लोड नहीं चाहिए. खुद
Hmm.
को लाइफ भी एंजॉय करनी है इसलिए
Yeah.
खुद को बुक्स भी पढ़ने हैं खुद को यूट्यूब के वीडियोस भी बनाने हैं बिकॉज अभी तो मैंने टीम शुरू नहीं की बिकॉज आई स्टार्टेड लाइक यस्टरडे आई अप्रोच्ड वन पर्सन टू फॉर द
Hmm.
सोशल मीडिया एंड यूट्यूब थिंग्स. सो आई एम नॉट राइट नाउ आई एम थिंकिंग अबाउट एक्सपांडिंग द टीम. सो अभी
Hmm.
तक तो टीम नहीं थी सब कुछ मैं खुद ही कर रहा था. So
Okay.
everything I'm doing everything alone. So like a lot of I have to do. So I have to focus कि जितना कम कम टाइम में ज्यादा से ज्यादा काम हो सके और कम से
Okay.
कम क्लाइंट में ज्यादा से ज्यादा पैसे मिल सके. So I have to focus that thing. But talking about the I cannot give the rough estimate because every time it's not
हाँ
like
वो.
कि हर monthly
Yeah.
मुझे clients सेम ही हो गई वो
Like
तो फिक्स नहीं
average,
होता.
average बता सकते हो, like if you can.
See, average the if you are into the like COEP college or if you are into the job salary is around 3 to 6 lakh or 7 lakhs for the graduate student.
Hmm.
So you can expect that 2x amount that for sure. So I
For
will give
free,
that rough estimately,
for
yeah, for the
freelancing.
annual.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And if you take a lot of work, then obviously you can make a lot of money also. But
But
if
वो
you are
strain हो जाए.
like if you
Hmm. Alone हो
exactly
तो.
if you want to be yeah true. So if you don't want to, because see, rather than I'm focusing more on the freelancing, I'm trying to focus on how I can create more passive incomes. So like
Correct.
in the lockdown I started with the YouTube. Now YouTube is also monetized.
Hmm.
My podcast is also monetized. I have around 3 to 4 brand जो कि returner brands है कि they want to work with me for the long term. So that's also one thing happened. After that I have like investments also. So
Hmm.
even my writing, like I used to write on the website, then I shifted to the right now I'm writing on the Medium website. Even the Medium pays for the writer.
Medium.
If most people don't know
Yeah.
that, in India it's not available, but you definitely can do the jugaad. Or jugaad karte ho, so you can do anything. So
Hmm.
Medium also pays for the writer, and if you can write a good quality content, then you can get paid from the Medium also. Right now,
Yeah.
so the passive income is, first one is my website, second one is my Medium account, third one is podcast, fourth one is YouTube, and then the little bit of Instagram and the
Hmm.
investment, mutual funds and
Yeah.
share market. So these are
Okay.
the all things covered. My major focus is to create more and more passive income, so I have to less work on the freelancing kind. So that's how actually the major focus is right now.
ओके, तो ये काफी सीरियस हो गया था, तो लेट्स टेक इट टू समथिंग चिल। तो एक चिल
Right.
राउंड करते हैं। सो दिस इज अ वेरी सब्जेक्टिव मतलब ऑब्जेक्टिव थिंग। आई विल गिव यू टू ऑप्शंस, यू हैव टू चूज वन। सो
अच्छा।
गर्लफ्रेंड और बुक, व्हाट विल यू प्रेफर? लाइक
हार्ड वन।
मैकेनिकल के
बताओ।
बंदे हो तो मैकेनिकल के बंदे हो तो आई डोंट नो कॉलेज में मिली होगी कि नहीं मिली होगी, बट
नहीं,
अभी का क्या सीन है, गर्लफ्रेंड या बुक?
नहीं, आई एम स्टिल सिंगल, देयर इज नो डाउट। बट
हम्म।
आई नेवर हैड कि ये थॉट कि मैकेनिकल में हो तो कभी, लेकिन नहीं, अगर तुम कॉलेज में मेरे फ्रेंड से किसी भी पूछोगे ना, तो आई इवन मैं मैकेनिकल में था, बट आई स्पेंड मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम इन द कंप्यूटर साइंस डिपार्टमेंट।
अच्छा।
सो लाइक
हम्म।
लॉट ऑफ लाइक आई यूज टू, मतलब अगर तुम कॉलेज में मेरे फ्रेंड से किसी भी पूछोगे, तो
हम्म।
ही कोई भी यही बोलेगा कि सबसे ज्यादा लड़कियां फ्रेंड इसकी थी।
ओके ओके ओके
But
ओके
obviously, books is a first. After that, girlfriend for sure. There
ओके।
is no doubt.
प्लान्स ऑफ वैलेंटाइन वीक तो था मेरा क्वेश्चन, बट अब तो गर्लफ्रेंड ही नहीं है, तो मैं क्या बताऊं, लाइक बुक्स के साथ वैलेंटाइन फिर?
नहीं, वैसे नहीं, ऑब्वियसली कुछ वैसे भी कुछ प्लान नहीं होता। इवन मुझे आज कौन सा डे वो भी पता नहीं एक्चुअली। आई गेस रोज डे समथिंग, चॉकलेट डे कुछ था, कुछ
या
पता भी नहीं,
वो
क्योंकि
मीम्स
if
मीम्स
you
से
don't
पता
have,
चल जाता है।
right, exactly. So that's not because I believe right now the age ही ऐसे है कि जहाँ पे obviously it depends on everyone, like उस खुद को क्या करना है उस पे डिपेंड करता है। मुझे लगता है कि this is something I love more,
हम्म।
so rather than focusing on that, I mean relationship part, I focus on these kind of things. Obviously उसके benefits भी होते हैं, you get lot of approach and everything, so वो एक अलग चीज है।
या अच्छा, तो थर्ड क्वेश्चन इज, एनी गर्ल अप्रोच्ड यू ऑन यूट्यूब और इंस्टाग्राम फॉर योर डिजिटल प्रेजेंस?
A lot।
अच्छा, कोई इंस्टेंस बता
एक्चुअली
दो।
बट आई इंसिडेंट्स, लास्ट ईयर का ये इंसिडेंस है।
हम्म।
वन ऑफ द गर्ल, उसने इंस्टाग्राम प्रोफाइल, वो कहाँ से आई पता नहीं थी, शी इज फ्रॉम द पुणे एक्चुअली, और वो कहाँ से आई थी
ओके।
वगैरह पता नहीं थी मुझे।
हम्म।
एंड उसने इंस्टाग्राम पे मेरे सबसे पहले पिक, मतलब मेरे अराउंड 700 पोस्ट है अराउंड, सबसे पहले पिक को उसने लाइक किया था। उसके
ओ
बाद
माय
आई हैव
गॉड।
हाइलाइट्स। हाइलाइट्स से, हाइलाइट्स में अराउंड एक हाइलाइट, मतलब हाइलाइट जब हम स्टोरीज में हाइलाइट्स करते हैं, तो एक
हम्म।
हाइलाइट्स में अराउंड 30 to 40 स्टोरीज आराम से होंगी। उसने
हम्म।
सबसे लास्ट वाली स्टोरी को सारे हाइलाइट्स में रिप्लाई किया था। इतना उसने स्टॉक किया था, सो मैंने आई थॉट कि लेट्स डू, उसे रिप्लाई
हम्म।
देते हैं। इतना
अच्छा।
उसने
हाँ,
इतने
अप्रोच
कष्ट,
किया है।
इतने कष्ट लिए हैं,
या
तो इसलिए
करेक्ट।
रिप्लाई देते हैं। आई डिड।
करेक्ट।
एंड उसके बाद शी स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग अबाउट हर एक्स। सो आई थॉट यार ये नहीं करना चाहिए था, सो इसलिए मैंने उसे, बहन जी, यू कैन एंजॉय योर लाइफ, मुझे मेरी लाइफ एंजॉय करने दो।
या करेक्ट।
तो ये एक इंसिडेंस है, बाकी सारे ऐसे इंसिडेंट्स बहुत सारे आते हैं कि they love something, they want to talk to you, but usually they ask for phone number and everything, which I don't believe sharing right now, because that's something is not, because that's become
कॉन्फिडेंशियल।
attachment, that becomes attachment, a lot of things वगैरह वगैरह। So usually I'm not into that person, but ऐसे बहुत सारे incidents होते हैं कि जहाँ पे they sometimes call you sir, they sometimes admire you a lot, but I stick to the conversion कि उनको जितनी information देनी है उतनी ही दे दूँ, then I stay away from it, because I don't want to harm anyone, which is something I believe कि if you can do something bad for them, don't do something bad for them. So that's something I believe. So at least कुछ good अच्छा नहीं कर सकते, तो at least बुरा तो उनके साथ, इसलिए I stick to the limit the conversation with everyone.
ओके सो दिस ये मैं एक पैशन, ये मैं एक मोटिवेशन मांगू, क्या कहते हैं लोगों को बुक ब्लॉगिंग स्टार्ट करने के लिए या ब्लॉगिंग स्टार्ट करने के लिए?
यू कैन से दैट अगर मतलब सी सिंगल हो तो टाइम बहुत है rather than एक देयर इज वन थिंग आई रेड लास्ट वीक ऑन द ट्विटर इफ यू कैन मतलब एग्जैक्टली मुझे वो ट्वीट याद नहीं है दैट द ट्वीट वाज समथिंग लाइक यूज योर फ्री टाइम टू बिल्ड योर डिजायर्ड लाइफ अपना जो फ्री टाइम है ना वो जो हमें लाइफ चाहिए वो बिल्डअप करने में लगा दो rather than wasting rather than doing something else otherwise जो अभी लाइफ है जो अभी
हम्म
लाइफ तुम्हारी करंट है
हम्म
वो ही तुम्हारी मतलब समथिंग फ्री टाइम नहीं मिलेगा समथिंग ऐसा कुछ तो अभी एग्जैक्टली आज नहीं है आई विल सेंड यू द ट्वीट देन यू कैन रीड इट आफ्टर दैट सो दैट वाज समथिंग कि अगर तुम्हें जो फ्री टाइम है ना देन यू कैन यूज इट टू द बिल्ड योर फ्यूचर लाइफ so you can enjoy in the your next days also and
करेक्ट
you can have like if tomorrow after 2 3 years if I have a good solid income source then I will not regret going into the relationship I will even I can go on the world tour or something so
हम्म
that becomes the bigger plan rather than putting the short term plans.
करेक्ट सो जब बिगर प्लान्स बताए दियो तो लास्ट क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं, व्हाट आर योर फ्यूचर प्लान्स currently as you think of right now in 2021?
2021 well first thing I don't make huge
like take
like
it
बहुत
like
बड़े
3 से 4 साल आगे तक का ही सोच लो बस.
नहीं एक्चुअली मैं उतने बड़े भी प्लान्स नहीं बनाता हूँ 1 ईयर भी बहुत है एक्चुअली क्वार्टरली
ए,
में आई फोकस
हम्म
ऑन द क्वार्टरली प्लान कि
ओके
इस क्वार्टर में क्या करना है इसको आगे के क्वार्टर में क्या करना है या आगे के क्वार्टर पे क्या करना है सो राइट नाउ द मेजर फोकस इज माय यूट्यूब क्योंकि यूट्यूब पे ग्रो करना है दैट्स समथिंग आई वांट टू ग्रो इफ आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट 1 ईयर देन आई हैव टू अराउंड अगर 10,000 सब्सक्राइबर्स भी आ जाए तो दैट्स अ गुड नंबर फॉर मी एज आई
हम्म
टोल्ड दिस इज अ वेरी स्मॉल निश और यहाँ पे रीडर्स आना सब्सक्राइबर्स आना बहुत मुश्किल चीज है लाइक if you talk about the biggest creator on this
हम्म
YouTube or
हम्म
YouTuber, you can say the biggest creator who are doing from the last 5 years, they have around 20,000 subscribers. So you can think that कि कितनी small niche है ये. So
हम्म
अगर 10,000 subscribers भी मिल जाता है, then I'm happy. So that's the first plan. Second thing, I want to create more passive incomes जो I don't have, so I can focus more less on the works and more on that कि automatically money आता रहे. Third thing, I want to learn जो एक म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट सीखना है और एक फॉरेन लैंग्वेज सीखनी है सो दिस आर द काइंड ऑफ पर्सनल प्लान इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द फ्रीलांसिंग देन ये तो अभी चल ही रहा है आई हैव टू स्टिक टू द एटलीस्ट मिनिमम
हम्म
3 क्लाइंट्स एवरी मंथ जो कि दैट्स द बेसिक बेस लेवल का गोल है
हम्म
आफ्टर दैट एनीथिंग एक्स्ट्रा इज गुड सो
हम्म
दैट्स समथिंग हार्डली आई मेक 1 ईयर प्लान आई डोंट फोकस ऑन द 5 ईयर 10 ईयर्स प्लान बिकॉज पता नहीं होता कि कल आप होके नहीं ये भी पता नहीं है सो रादर देन गोइंग फॉर द बिग let's keep it in the quarterly because it's easy to
quarterly.
achieve quarter plan
Yeah.
rather than the yearly plan or the 5 years plan so that's the major focus right now to build more passive incomes to invest more and to learn more.
Okay. So Ronak, that was all. Like सारे questions तो like तुमने बोल ही दिए. So it was like it was, I think it was really a great and a more fun-loving podcast. What do you think about it?
Yes, definitely. I mean, the questions were really, really good, and I hope that will help everyone who is starting with the content creation, book
Hmm.
blogging, or anything. Because these are, I told, very, very basic rules. You can apply this in any sector. It's not like कि सिर्फ book blogging में apply करना है. Even if you are
Hmm.
starting with the graphic design, video editing, or anything, if you can apply this very basic rule, then you can definitely get ahead in the 1 year. I mean, in 1 year you can get a lot of ahead as compared to the other people. But with the same point I will also suggest that whoever is starting with this don't focus on the status game rather than focus on the key how you can become a financial stable so agar financial stability hai then you can do a lot of things agar freedom hai तो you can do a lot of things so that will be the major focus agar आप किसी से भी शुरू करते हो when you get at some point then try to focus on your financial education try to diversify your income and major focus की how you can be independent of your money
Hmm.
सो जितना ज्यादा वो रहेगा तो दैट विल हेल्प यू टू स्ट्रेस फ्री इन लाइफ सो
Hmm.
दैट विल समथिंग आई विल सजेस्ट बिकॉज
Yeah.
फ्रीलांसिंग में आते हो तो यू विल गेट अ लॉट ऑफ स्ट्रेस अगर नेक्स्ट मंथ क्लाइंट नहीं हुआ तो नेक्स्ट मंथ पैसे नहीं आए तो व्हाट इफ द क्लाइंट विल नॉट पे मी
Hmm.
दैट इंफीरियर कॉम्प्लेक्स होता है बहुत सारी चीजें आती है जब
Yeah.
तुम फ्रीलांसिंग
Correct.
में आते हो
बहुत
सो
बहुत.
अगर अगर
इट्स
if you
नॉट
can
श्योर,
create a
लाइक
side,
वो श्योर नहीं कि हाँ
like
मेरे को पैसा
uncertainty
आएगा ही, हाँ अनसर्टेनिटी बहुत ज्यादा है उसमें.
बहुत होती है. So
Yeah.
if you can create a lot of like side by side passive incomes, so you don't have to depend on that
हाँ मतलब
uncertainty.
इतना
So
मेरे को 30 से 40 आ जाएगा, उतना में मैं अपना मिनिमम
हाँ,
खर्चा कर लूंगा, बाकी जो
खर्चा
आएगा
नहीं
वो
करूंगा.
एक्स्ट्रा है अपना. हाँ सही है.
Extra, right, exactly. So ये
और
that
जो
will be the
बचा
major
उसको तुम
focus कि
इन्वेस्ट कर दिया तुमने, तो और ज्यादा वो बाद में पैसिव बन के आएगा.
पैसे बन जाए. Right, exactly. So financial education with creator touch, so that will I say कि ये basic रहेगा, इस पे ज्यादा से ज्यादा फोकस करना.
एंड आई थिंक इंडिया इज मूविंग टुवर्ड्स दैट, डोंट यू थिंक? लाइक पहले वो वेस्ट का कॉन्सेप्ट था, बट इंडिया इज स्टेडली एंड slowly moving towards that creator mindset, or like passive income kind of mindset, don't you think?
Yes, definitely. Matlab, whatever, like, still there are, if you are like, obviously from 2019 or 2018, I will say the young
Mainly the
creators, they will more
pandemic, I
focus.
suppose.
Yeah, probably, yes, definitely. Because of from that point, people will realize ki why
Hmm.
passive income is necessary, why you should invest, why financial education is necessary. But
Correct.
if you go for the old school, like, even if I talk to my big brother, like, who is cousin brother, they
Hmm.
still don't think ki it is necessary. But obviously, I don't argue with them because they are from the old school and we are
Yeah.
from the different school. We
Hmm.
are ready to take risk and they are not ready to take risk.
No.
So it depends on the obviously the generation. But be more adaptive, as always, be more adaptive. और नई नई चीजों से जितना ज्यादा जल्दी सीखोगे, बिकॉज देर आर टू पीपल्स, लाइक वन इज सर्वाइवल एंड वन इज विक्टिम. Survival is one who can adapt and who can learn fast and who can do things fast,
Yeah.
and survival always wins. And there is always a victim who makes first excuse and use your free time to think and think and think, and they will always become the victim. Rather than becoming a victim, always be the survivor in all industry.
Sure. So this was all for today, and like guys, surely visit Ronak's YouTube channel. He's got a great YouTube channel. Do look up to his Instagram. उसका Instagram में काफी content. He put up content almost daily. His blogs, his writings, his articles, his मीडियम, हिज वेबसाइट, सारा मैं लिंक में डाल दूंगा. जरूर जाके देखो, चेकआउट करो कि कैसे स्टार्ट करना है, कैसे उसको अच्छा से लेके जाना है, कैसे लाइक फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट ब्लॉग टू द सेकंड ब्लॉग टू द 58 ब्लॉग टू द लाइक टू द current blog. See the difference in writing, see the difference in the way he starts his journey and he is currently right now, and that's where you know कि हाँ तुम्हें क्यों blogging करना चाहिए, कैसे blogging करना चाहिए. Do look up to his old videos, and most importantly, do subscribe to the channel. The channel will be full of freelancing content, full of content with uh, tech bloggers, with the bloggers which are in the who have started, who have been doing great, and looking more to get more stuff and more content. And do subscribe क्योंकि वो मेरे को motivation देगा, and if I also need motivation to get up more content in the channel and bring up some great people. So thanks a lot, and uh, do and go hustle.
Thank you so much, man. It
Last
was
words
great.
from you, Ronak.
Thank you so much, man. It was a great talking to you. And
Hmm.
obviously, also subscribes to Research channel also, because I can suspect that he is going to do the bigger thing in the upcoming years. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, support your friends, and do share this podcast with whoever is starting with the freelancing journey or whatever, if they are starting with the creator field. And hope you will get to learn something new every day. And hope you have learned something from this podcast also. And that will be, you know, I will be grateful for that and grateful for the Rishabh for inviting me on this podcast.
Thanks a lot. So let's keep this going. Tada, bye bye, sayonara.